yourself, and if you're new to the community, you are now one of my babies, so you get one kiss on the forehead. Okay, and for all of my returning babies, it pays to return multiple kisses. Mama loves you. Okay, so one more thing before we get started. We start our session off with a prayer. But before we even get there, we are currently doing the Rebirth Healing Cleanse Circles on the Patreon community. It is only $3 a month, and we're doing it for 2 months, so we're doing it to prepare ourselves for the beginning of the year. So if you'd like to join that, please hop on over to the Patreon community. There are herb cleanse pairings with that, and so all of that fun stuff. I've talked about it a bunch, but hurry up because, you know, time's running out. And it is really to prepare us to step into the new year of a clear mind, clear energy, and just get this thing going. You feel me? Okay. So we start a session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. May I touch you? Okay. You ready? Okay. Dear universe and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate things for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Okay, so I'm just going to work through that a little bit. And let's get some energy going and blowing. If it's your first time here, this is cinnamon. It is not a blunt. This is cinnamon. If this is not your first time here, obviously you know that cinnamon is one of my favorite cleansing tools because I love how grounding it is. I'm probably gonna pop back up with the mugwort again soon. So have a nice little candle. Well, it's kind of a big candle. Big ass candle. Yeah, so nice little candle. And let's just start by just cleansing over your energy, okay? And so what I really like about cinnamon is it burns for a long time. It's not too smoky. It burns for a long time. It stays lit for a long time, but it also takes a little while to catch. Okay. Just breathe. Just want you to see. Okay. I'm just placing this energy over you. And just breathe into that. I started using cinnamon because I wanted to encourage others to look at other healing tools. It's not just sage out there. It's not just Palo Santo. Okay. It's not just frankincense and myrrh out there. There's a lot of other healing herbs and a lot of other tools that can be used and should be used. Things that we find right there in the kitchen. For example, you can use rosemary for manifesting. You can use bay leaves for manifesting. I did a video maybe 2 or 3 years ago with the bay leaf for manifesting, and I think I used rosemary as well. very interesting too, because they are definitely used in many spiritual practices for the smoke. It is the smoke itself. And a lot of it has to do with the use of tobacco, how tobacco is used in cleansings and things like that. And so the cigar is kind of a convenient way to have that smoke in one place instead of having these huge tobacco leaves. So certain practices do use that. Okay, just move through that. But yes, like I was saying, there's many things within our own cabinets that can be used. So improvise. Don't ever feel like anything you're trying to do isn't accessible. That's also the reason why I slowed down with the use of crystals. Not because I, don't want to use crystals, but I think that you can accomplish a lot with what you have. So don't feel like you gotta get, well, crystal collectors will know. You start to feel like you gotta get every crystal out there when you can do a lot with what you have already. And I'm gonna keep it real. Half that shit is marketing, okay? And I'm not saying that the crystals don't work, it's not that at all. But have the illusion of needing to consume more and more and get more and more and more is marketing. There's a lot of ways to approach whatever it is you're doing in your healing practice, in your esoteric practice, channeling, manifesting, spells, any kind of whatever your lineage or modality, intuitive work, whatever it uses, whatever language or rhetoric it uses. There's many approaches to it. And that's, I think, the gotcha about it, because I often tell y'all that I say to you, I'm like, look, I don't care what you believe, not in a way of like, I don't care what you believe. It's more of like, I don't have a vested interest in persuading you to think about the universe in one particular way or follow one particular belief system. Oh wow, we had some fire today. Yeah, I don't have some culty kind of, oh, okay, tap in and then you'll learn this mystery of the universe that only the insiders know. No, I can't stand things that are culty. It annoys me. But I still believe that we have very interesting mystical things that, in my opinion, kind of are pretty practical. And connectedness to the universe. And so I think it is up to you to decide what modalities, spiritual paths, religious paths, traditions, understanding, techniques you choose to use in order to tap into that. Reiki on its own is not spiritual at all. Reiki itself is more about tapping into the body and things that we can do in our body in order to initiate a healing response. But the mind-body connection, the mind-body and the soul, you can't address one without the other. And I think in modern understandings of everything, or healing or connectedness, everything is separated and deeply, pulled apart. I think the intersection is really important. So, I dare say, why not decolonize our thought process of how things are, because I think that our ancestors had a better approach of looking at the mind-body connection. And I think if we incorporate that approach with modern science, we'd be able to have a solution to many things. already actually have a lot of really great solutions. But where there is not a financial interest in things, there typically isn't a push by big institutions to do it. I'm not saying anything particularly spicy. I'm just telling you kind of how it is, you know. Society sometimes can be run off of problems rather than solutions. Yeah, I mean, but that doesn't mean that you as an individual cannot discover the solutions you need. That's why I always say, when you think of your health, think of yourself as the leader or the captain. You know, think of yourself as someone who is the expert on your body, and you are reaching out to other experts within a certain field of how to approach your body, but you get to decide what you do. To have options, to have autonomy, to have power, and things like that. So, I think that shift of how we connect with our body, which is our health, how we connect it to, you know, this, the esoteric, the soul, humanity, that's spiritual aspects. I think that all of those things matter. And also, I think culty things are really cringy. I have a theory for cults. I think some cults didn't intend to be cults, but I think financially they don't want to let go of memberships, so it becomes this real weird cult thing. When I think ultimately, especially when it comes to things like spiritual paths, people need to leave, you know, they need to go other places, they need to explore other things, they need to combine things. That's another thing, like that's another red flag when people are like, you're not allowed to know anything else except for this. Red flag. No. You should use whatever you need. You want to use alternative medicine, you want to use conventional medicine, you want to have a religious tradition, you want and have a spiritual tradition. Do you want to be irreligious? Do you want to have, you know, nothing at all? Whatever. Your business. Your life. And since it's yours, you should live it the way you want to live it. So, and then another thing that I notice is the spirituality aesthetic. And I don't mean people just paying respect to their spiritual connection, but I mean people who feel like looking a certain way is the same thing as being that thing, which is just not true. It's not the case. But you know, there's a lot of mechanisms that support people pretending to be something, looking the part, rather than actually being. So I mean, it is what it is. That's up to you. So I said all of that to say, you gotta trust yourself first. Your guidance, your understanding, your wisdom, your path. You know, only you get to choose this path that you take. And so I hope that this makes you feel better. It makes you feel protected, but kind of makes you feel like I got more options. That life isn't just happening to you, but as I would say before, you are co-creating life. But I like to say things in very practical ways, which is instead of saying you're co-creating your life, I'll say it like this: you are getting you are having your own body autonomy, both in what you can do with your body, your mind, and your feelings. They all belong to you, and you get to determine what you react to, what you do, and all that kind of stuff. And be unapologetic in your feelings. It's okay to be afraid at times. It's okay to be sad at times. It's definitely okay to be happy and to celebrate. All those things are okay. And I hope that if you get anything, you get the experience that it's okay to be you. However you show up in this world, it is okay to be you. Whatever that means, wherever you're at in life right now, it is okay to be you. It is safe to be you. It is a part of a bigger journey that you're on. And so, this moment is as special as all the other moments. So it's okay to be you. It's safe. This path is safe for you to take. You can take it. You could trust yourself too. Trust that you'll find your way home to the destination that you want to go in. That you'll grow and you'll change and you'll shift. And, each and every day you become more and more vulnerable with yourself. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things we can be, which is have a sense of vulnerability with ourselves, trust ourselves. You don't always have to follow the crowd, and at the same time, you don't have to feel guilty for wanting community connection. I think that when one follows the crowd, it's almost like we can over-sacrifice in order to be in that crowd. But on the other side, which is we do need people, we do need community, we do need collectiveness, but we also need to have that with appropriate boundaries. And so, yes, you still get to be and find and deserve to have communities, multiple communities that make you feel connected, that make you feel a sense of community love, because I think a lot of times we may focus on romantic love, but community love can be just as meaningful and healing, because can you imagine to be loved so deeply by someone and literally they want nothing in return except you just being happy in their community? They don't want your time. They don't want your nothing. I mean, they might want to hang out with you. You're cool. But they don't want your, affection or nothing. They just want you to be happy because you want them to be happy. It's something to think about. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you got a nice clearing and cleansing from the experience. And I hope you enjoy our community. And thank you for stopping by and just living your life. It brings me a lot of purpose to be here. But I think more than it brings me purpose, I would say communities matter, especially these kind of communities. And in a world where it can get real culty, I feel good about our community as a real stable, safe place. Reiki symbols, drawing Reiki symbols over your aura in order to protect you, especially during this Mercury in retrograde phase, the Mars in retrograde energy too. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you take care of yourself, you kick your shoes off, and you relax. So if you're new to the community, welcome, and you are now one of my babies, so you get one kiss on the forehead. And if you're returning, welcome back, babies. You get multiple kisses. Okay, so we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's universal for the highest vibrational good only. Please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna start in with just feeling how you're doing. Okay. Just breathe in and out. You can't get this part wrong. So I'm gonna start with some Reiki symbols, okay? Okay. Okay. So let's just go over your head and bring it nice and down. So the protection over you during Mercury in retrograde is all about having stable ground, foundation, and grounding, okay? So this is going to be focused on grounding you. I hope you enjoyed the chakra cleansing series because there's also a root chakra grounding session too. Just focus on grounding you. Okay, good job. And just work, 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 work. Okay. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And I'm just going to make a few adjustments to your energy. So take a deep breath in, filling all the way up. Exhale, release, let it go. Now feel it through your fingers and your toes. Feel it through your body, your front body, back body, side body, and ground. Open up within the ground and just draw that energy in and draw it down to the center. Exhale, release. You know who you are. You know what you want. You know what you need to do. So if there's any time that you feel like you don't have the clarity that you need, it isn't clear because you get to choose what the decision is. There is not a decision to be made. It's just simply you get to choose. That is the power. So just shift through there. And moving that. And bringing it down. So just to the left side of your energy. Okay, bring that down. Good job. Bring it over here now. Good job, good job, good job. Good job, good job. And bring that back together. Okay. Now, sometimes what you can do is just like really kind of bring your hands together, give yourself a nice little hug or a noodle. Or, patting it all the way down the back. Whatever feels comfortable to you. If you're lying back, it can really just be to heart center and just breathing in and out. What you want to feel is you want to feel in the present moment. You want to feel in your body. So many times during the day, we're not really thinking about being present. Believe me, it would be exhausted if we had to think about being present all the time. That's why it's so special when we do take those moments to be very present with ourselves. So just open yourself up. Remain particularly open and present with yourself. Breathe in. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Final breath. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so just move that through. Move that through, move that through. Move that through, move that through, move that through. And take little pieces, take little pieces, little pieces. Take little pieces, little pieces, little pieces of yourself and share it. Now just take little parts of the journey and just kind of open it up. yourself in for your moments or whatever you need to ground in life. So whatever you need, okay? Just over your ground. Good job, babies. How do you feel? Do you feel good? I hope that you enjoyed that session. So during this Mercury in retrograde period, and also, so Mercury goes into retrograde December 29th, December 30th. We're already in a Mars retrograde, so it's going to start to amplify, and having those two together, not being able to do as well as not being able to communicate means there's no clarity and there's indecision. So it's kind of just indecision going on, like false starts, not being able to start when you want to. With that going on, the trick for this is you really have to just sit down, think things through, come up with a decision and stick with it. When these planets are direct, when you come up with a decision you feel comfortable with, you have a sense in yourself of like, yes, this feels right. There is going to be no decision that you come up with that will feel like, oh, it's right. So you kind of have to use some of your rationale. You have to be realistic and say, this is the decision to make, and this is how I or we or whatever are going to go forward. And that's it. And you just let it be. And just sometimes things work out really well and sometimes they don't. And it's just going with the flow. But what you don't want to be is petrified. You don't have to rush things. That's why I said you have to really think it out, because since you don't have that feeling right now, you really have to be logical here. You really have to be grounded. It really has to make sense. And the universe sends interesting messages or interesting opportunities. Whatever you experience right now should stand the test of time, whatever that is, whether it is longevity or whether it is varying degrees of experience. I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is all about this upcoming Mercury in retrograde. We are now in the Mercury in retrograde pre-shadow period. We are now in the Mercury in retrograde pre-shadow period, as well as we are in a Mars retrograde, and we are going to be released from that soon. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, your nightly self-care experience. So I'm really excited to share this moment with you and share these moments with you, okay? So we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, it's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay. You ready? May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths we're just going to work through the effects that happen with a Mercury in retrograde, pre-shadow period, Mars in retrograde, and what it all means. What does it all mean? Okay, so inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, so I'm going to start to just take little pieces of stress away from you. So we're going to talk about this Mars in retrograde. So Mars has been doing this retrograde in Gemini dance, and Mars in Gemini in general is something that we are going to be experiencing from 2022 into 2023. But right now Mars is in retrograde, and it will leave that retrograde position around the middle of January. So what does that feel like? It feels like Mars, let's think of Mars. Mars is your passion. Mars is your ability to take initiative. Mars is your ability to get things done. Mars is your ability to have a result, a resolution. And when Mars is in retrograde, for example, if you have Mars retrograde in your chart, or you know somebody with a Mars in retrograde, it doesn't work that way. There's things that are postponed. It's like the harder you try, just nothing seems to work out. So if recently you have been experiencing that within some area of your life where you're like, wow, working really hard here and nothing seems to be working out, like freakishly working hard and nothing seems to be working out, it could be because of Mars and this retrograde transit. So what it simply means is be strategic, think outside of the box. And when we think of Mars, Mars was the traditional ruler of Aries. It still is the traditional ruler of Aries, but it also was the traditional ruler of Scorpio. The modern day ruler of Scorpio now is Pluto. So with Mars being the traditional ruler of Scorpio, Scorpio is all about strategy. It is the war. Aries is all about momentum and moment and that quick just spark. It is about the battle. That Scorpio energy looks at the full picture. So what you have to do right now is think from the perspective of Mars. If you're not able to accomplish what you need to accomplish the way that you're doing it, you have to look outside of that box. Okay? And on top of that, what you also need to do is, all around you, people are experiencing this as well. And when a Mars goes into retrograde, it creates a ton of indecision. All you have to do is just decide on something, even though during these periods it doesn't 100% feel right. It doesn't 100% feel like the way that you want it to feel. But that doesn't matter. What you want to do is check in with yourself. What you want to do is check in with the experience. So you're experiencing that Mars. That Mars makes you feel like something is off. But even when things are off, you are still expected to make a decision. Even when things are off, you are still expected to be able to move forward. And a lot of people get surrendering. What I mean here is when you can control everything in the way that you want it to be controlled, you can surrender a bit and say, you know what, I am going to look outside the box and I'm just going to go with the flow here and I'm just going to make this happen however it's going to happen, rather than trying to force things to work a certain way that you're used to or that you're accustomed to. Okay. Okay, good job. Now I hope that is bringing some relief to some people who may have been feeling like, we also have to understand pre-shadow periods and post-shadow periods. And what I mean by that is your pre-shadow period is that pre-shadow before a planet goes retrograde. And your post-shadow period is when that planet becomes direct. There's that period of time where there's still that feeling of the retrograde, but it's starting to resolve itself. So walking into this pre-shadow period with Mercury, the feeling is this. Mercury is going to be retrograde in Capricorn. It is going to go retrograde in Capricorn at the end of December. It started its pre-shadow period December 12th. What that means is everything that has to do with your legacy, your career, what you're building, what you want to be known for, what people essentially know you for. It can even extend a bit into your job and how you make money and things like that, but it's really think about what foundation are you building for the life that you have. Just take a moment and think about it. Mercury is coming through to basically say, let's make sure all of this is on track, so that areas of communication that is not working for your legacy and your foundation, they're going to be knocked down and swept away. The areas that are working, they're going to be strengthened, fortified, and even rewarded, because sometimes we forget that in retrograde periods, you are rewarded. If you're strategic when Mars is direct, that means during a Mars retrograde, you are equipped to handle it. If you have adequate communication towards whatever topic it is, when Mercury is direct, that means when Mercury goes into retrograde, you are prepared to handle those things. There is no scenario in which hard work is not a part of it. Hard work just happens. It is inevitable. It is an inevitable thing. Inevitable thing that has to happen. And it's just, it happens just because, like, that's how we make things work. But I think hard work is simply the fact that I am me, right? You are you. I have my version of the universe. You have your version of the universe. And if you want me to see your version of the universe, you have to put in some type of work to express that. Physically, verbally, mentally, whatever that is, you are putting in work to show me or give me a glimpse of your universe. That's all it is. Because we cannot assume that others are experiencing the universe like us. So whenever we're working hard towards something, that's all we're really doing. It's just trying to materialize what we think we should be showing, or what we think that we want to share with others. It's really that simple. I hope so. So back to Mercury. So Mercury's retrograde period is typically about 3 weeks. We're going to feel in the beginning of January both the Mercury in retrograde and the Mars in retrograde. So what does that amplify? What is that? What issues does that bring up? Well, it brings up the issue of both the person, the ability to get things done, as well as your ability to communicate those things. So getting things done, initiative, making things happen, and to communication, being able to communicate things. So those are very important mechanisms within our life as you would like, but you stay consistent. And as soon as Mars goes direct, then you are going to be able to illuminate and experience and be able to reap some of those benefits. For the people who have not fortified that determination, they're going to quickly give up on the things they're doing. You know, their Mars in retrograde is going to look like this. Instead of just being consistent, it's the same with communication, especially in Mercury and Capricorn. Be straightforward. Be very clear about your end goal, what you would like to accomplish, especially when it comes to building things, foundation and legacy and things like that. And even though you can't immediately make something happen today, just know that after that Mercury in retrograde finds its other side, what you then experience is something different. You start to see things move. Now, Capricorn is a very, very slow energy, and it's slow for a reason. It takes a lifetime to build a legacy or a career, because it would take a lifetime to try to knock it down, sometimes more than a lifetime. But when you quickly build something, it can quickly be pulled down because it doesn't have a foundation. That is why it's slow. That is why it's consistent. That is why it moves in that kind of way. And what it does also is it gives you confidence. So say you have built something over time, somebody tries to knock it down. Someone who has not built that confidence might knock their own stuff down because they're like, oh, this person's right, this person's right. No, you remember being in the trenches. You remember those moments when you had to do X, Y, and Z. So just somebody randomly saying something is not strong enough to knock you over, or just some random occurrence happening is not strong enough to deviate you from your path. This is what Mercury is bringing up. This is what Mars is bringing up. And you want to be mindful of what houses they're transiting. So your house, you know, by the time that you were born, so whatever time that you were born, you can look that up and you see what sign, let's say Mercury in Capricorn, what house holds Capricorn. That's where Mercury is going to be doing its thing. So if you have Capricorn in the 4th house, Mercury is going to be dancing around your home life. If you have Capricorn in the 7th house, Mercury is going to be dancing around your partnership. And what it feels like is, for example, Mercury in the 7th house, Mercury retrograde in the 7th house, Mercury is going to be asking you to be very clear about what your long-term vision is for your overall partnership within that house. Be very clear and straightforward, and you can't waver. There can't be like, you know, the drama back and forth, you know, people being indecisive. No, Capricorn is very concrete. This is what I want. This is what I know. So when you are like that during that period, you will reap that benefit because you will attract people. And it's not even as mystical as you think. You'll attract people simply because you will only accept people who offer you what you want, rather than having to kind of make do with what is just being, you know, showing up in your life. And so that's pretty much what's happening. So rest assured, around February, you know, February is the best time of the year because then I do all those love healings. Y'all love that. universe and all for the highest vibrational good only. Please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So, first things first, I'm just gonna put a little bit of just protection over you. Because when the brighter you shine, the greater shadow you're going to cast. And so, sometimes that can make you a target of jealousy, or just, I think what happens is people want attention. They don't know how to get balanced attention all the time, and so sometimes it can come off in very weird jealousy kind of ways, or from the individual, from if you feel like, or if I felt like it was some type of jealousy energy towards someone or something that's also an expression of certain feelings and such. I'm like, yes, I just described jealousy when I could have just said jealousy. Anyway, it's just a person trying to not respect boundaries and kind of force their way in there, but then not treat the inside with, tender love and care, like just being sweet and stuff like that. So let's just make sure that around you, you're only surrounded by those that see your beauty and appreciate it, and see their own beauty and appreciate it. Let's make sure you are only surrounded by people who express their confidence and enjoy your confidence as well. Let's make sure that you're always surrounded by those that feed you as well as you feed them, and that the energy is balanced. And that's one of the most important things, is having balanced energy. It's not about you being the sun or you being a sidekick in someone's story. It's everyone is their own universe, and us being able to come together and to be and witness each other in our own unique universes, and working together as well to become one, but yet very different and all that stuff. That is one of the most beautiful gifts that the universe can give to us. The gift of sharing in that kind of way. So, if anyone is jealous of you, let's shift that energy so that instead of jealousy, they feel support. They feel supported by you, and all they want to do is support you. They just want to support you. Okay. Now I want to go through here, because sometimes when people take advantage of really nice people, those really nice people start to close up. And unfortunately, sometimes you might close up for one reason, but limit yourself from receiving love or receiving appreciation fully in a genuine kind of way. And so a part of this session is removing any love blockages as well, and that starts with ourselves. So if you're able, take your hands, put them across your body. You can also give yourself a nice, warm hug. Put hands across your body. Breathe in. Exhale. Feel yourself in your physical body in this moment. Feel yourself. Notice every part of you, your ankles, your toes, your wrists, your nose, whatever that is. Feel that. And feel how much you love yourself, how much you trust yourself, how much you need yourself, how much you don't regret anything, that you are happy to have been born the person that you are today, that it was meant to be exactly like this. It had to be exactly like this. This is the best iteration of this life, regardless of how it is going or where it's going. This is the best. So just keep breathing in there. Balancing there. And forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for doubting any moments where you felt powerless. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for trusting those that maybe did not turn out to be trustworthy. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Love yourself fully. That even if there's no rational reason, if sometimes you just feel down, to trust yourself, to tap in and to be with yourself, to show up for yourself, and to be in the moment with yourself, and to have love for yourself, for yourself. Okay, so bringing that energy back together here, just breathing in, exhaling, releasing, letting go. And we're going to do that again, but we're going to go a little bit slower, okay? Or a lot of bit slower. Breathing in, and we're going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, let it go. Breathe on your own now. So if you were able to make it all the way to 7, then cool. If you weren't, that's okay too. But if you could go even longer, that's excellent as well. So take another breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, let it go. Sometimes I can inhale, or sometimes I can exhale longer than I can inhale. It's interesting, like I felt like I just inhale so quickly that it's like, oh wow, how do people have these sustained inhales? And then at the same time I feel like I exhale so slow. I'm just and I'm like, wait a minute, how am I able to exhale so long? So I hope this is making you feel grounded. Okay. I hope that with each one of our sessions, you're reminded to love yourself more fully and more deeply. You're reminded to be with yourself in this moment. You are tapped in to what is important to you. And you feel good. You know, this whole community is about feeling good, is about checking in with ourselves, about having routine and in self-care. And it's so amazing how things may not feel like they're always in your control, or things may not feel like they're going well in other parts of your life, but when you're able to just have a routine in something and you feel like there is some movement in some direction, that can be healing, that can bring a lot of joy in your life during times that may start to think about here as I'm patting your energy is opening yourself up to winter solstice. What makes winter solstice? So winter solstice is December 21st. December 22nd, but let's just call it December 21st. Because then we like to think of summer solstice as June 21st, you know? It's like December 22nd, whatever. But winter solstice is the shortest day of the year. So it is the time where the planet is tilted furthest away from the sun. And so we would have the shortest day, and it is also the first day of winter. So winter is coming, and winter has arrived. And it's so funny because in my head, November is winter and December is winter, but I guess it's been fall this whole time. Sweater weather, you know. Now it's earmuff season. If you're in the northern hemisphere, I guess earmuff season. So during this time, we are reminded of the balance of all of the seasons, specifically, you know, summer and winter. If you happen to have a summer and winter weekend, I assume everyone's having one, okay? Or you can also choose not to have one. You like, peace out for winter, I'm out of here, okay? But more of this. When we think of winter, you know, when you think of summer and spring, you think of fruit and the ability to do things and abundance and moving and blah 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 blah, right? And so winter might appear to the naked eye of being like dead and desolate and, you know, nothing happening. But here's the thing: when you have these beautiful blooming trees and forests and things like that, when those leaves start to drop, releasing their nutrients back in the soil, what can you do now? Now you can see beyond the horizon. Whereas before you only had a limited view, you could only see what was in front of you. And those things, they were obstructing your view. So while things look cold and they look, you know, asleep, unless it's like year when we do an initiative, when we talk about going to the next level, or we talk about grounding and self-care, learning ourselves, it's not because it's finite. It's not because we're going to that next level and this is the, and then you coast from there. No, there will always be another level, and there will always be another time for, I was going to say recluse, another time for rest and balancing. You are not the same person you were 1 year ago, 3 years, 5, 10, or how, keep on going. And so that new version of you is experiencing new things every year, its own kind of level. If I think about who I was 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, unrecognizable. Some of the same kind of passions maybe, but who I am and how I show up in the world, how I hold myself, how I carry myself, how I think, my patterns, day and night, day and night, completely different. Now, a part of that is growing up, that's normal, but another part of that is growing outside of who you were, outgrowing yourself, your old routines, your old mentality, your old approaches to things, becoming too big for the limiting thoughts you had. Because I used to think, oh, in order to do X, Y, and Z, there's only a set number of situations where it would work. And then when you take a step back out and you open yourself to yourself, you realize there are unlimited possibilities to get to wherever you want to go. Unlimited. In very creative ways. Very, very creative ways. And the more that you limit yourself, the more that you kind of have to just figure out how to do it that set way. Versus if you free yourself, you end up getting places further and faster without needing as much. You don't need to have done as much to prove you're ready for X, Y, and Z. You just show up. So I'm just working through that. Just opening yourself to yourself and relax. Okay. And relax. Relax, 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 relax. Relax, relax, relax. Relax, 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 relax. Relax. Balance, balance. Balance it out. Balance, balance, balance it out. Balance, balance, balance it out. Balance it out. Just let it be. 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 Just relax into this. Find movement here, movement here, just shift, 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 you need in order to get that stuff to happen. So it makes you more self-sufficient. It doesn't mean to self-isolate. It doesn't mean that you are an island and that you're not connected by a beautiful and lovely community. It's just not all the time do people have access to community, and it's becoming more of the norm that our communities can be global. They can extend, and you can have communities different levels and for varying things. And so with that being said, it is important that we establish our identity outside of the community and come to the space together to just be with each other. And I think when we do that, there is no trying to, tell somebody this is the only way you could do that, and that's the only way you could do that. It's simply, hey, I am not alone in this world, and tonight I do not want to be alone. So let's just be in this space and let's just relax, So I'm bringing this down. And you can just, put your hands up, put your hands to your heart, put your hands open in your lap. And just take a deep breath in and feel the connectedness. Feel that you are not alone. Feel that you are loved, mostly, and first off by self, but second off, whenever someone else loves themselves, shows up, and has respect for themselves, they free love. Every time you show up and you respect yourself and love yourself, you free love as well. And then love grows and expands. What I'm describing as love probably can be explained in multiple ways. Connection, respect, however you feel comfortable naming it. We are all connected, and it is because we come to this space together that it amplifies our healing and our manifesting. So bring into your life this direction that will help you to grow. Bring into your life this direction that brings out the biggest potential. And bring into your life this direction to show up as your authentic self. To show up as who you are, to trust yourself. Because during the different stages in life, you have different things. When you get older, you have a lot of wisdom, so you can lean on that when times are tough. When you're, not so young, or not so old, not so young, not so old, whatever in the middle, you have a lot of, maybe perhaps you have a work ethic, so you have a lot of time to be able to do it. And when you're younger, you have a lot of curiosity, so you can make those mistakes. You probably got time to, but you can make those mistakes. So it doesn't have to be perfect. But in this moment, connecting with yourself. So breathe in. Exhale, release. 2 more. Exhale, release. Final breath. Remove and let it go. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope that you bring in this winter solstice energy. New Year's is right around the corner. I'm so excited, and it's surprising how excited I am for the fact that it's going to be a Mercury and Mars retrograde. But I'm like, fuck it, we about to, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. However it shows up, it's gonna show up. Also want to invite you to enter the giveaway that's going on Patreon, and you answer this question: why are you ready to be a healer? And so that you are able to bring the love that you want in your life from others, as well as self-love. Because y'all know I'm always trying to throw self-love in there. Y'all looking for something outside of you when you could have everything you need on the inside, and that would actually attract people to you, but whatever. And some protection on you, so that you got to think about it when it comes to this kind of manifesting stuff. Sometimes people are wanting to pull you over to where they're at because they're using energy in a kind of way that I don't always think is so ethical. So putting a protection over you so that only your person finds you, and that in this space. And so if you're new to the community, welcome babies. You are now one of my babies. You get one kiss on the forehead. And if you're a returning baby, multiple kisses. Mama loves you. Okay. So we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay. Man, that's you. Cool. Okay, ready? Dear universe and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So just okay. So, first things first, I'm just gonna do some light cleansing. Why do we want to do some light cleansing? Because let's just create the environment or the atmosphere of just inhale, exhale, go. Okay. Just a little bit of smoke here. Okay. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You are going to be loved. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to have all that you need and receive all that you need to receive. You deserve to have that love. You deserve to have that love. You deserve to have that love. So, this is rose. We've used this one before, but this is some nice rose because we're changing the feeling. We're lightening that up, and we're taking our time as well with it. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Okay. Good job. So, okay, now I'm gonna go in and start to just pull out anything taking up too much space, anything that is being blocked, anything let's go ahead and just pull that out. Just move that. And relearning the same old toxic patterns just over and over and over and over and over again, okay? You don't have to learn them till you're blue in the face. We're gonna let them go so that you can check off all of your boxes and the person that you're truly looking for. But let's just take some moments to work on the self a little bit too, okay? Because it's the most that's the most important part. When you vibrate from a level of 100% self-acceptance, self-love, self-gratitude, you will then attract the person that you need. It is not the opposite. Oh, please, please, please bring this person to me. It's, oh, I love this life. I'm so grateful for this life. I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to share it with others along the way. And I'm only going to let that important person into my space. Everyone else can go. So that's what we're placing into this session. Now, I will say this as well. We're just going to do some protection. Yeah. Where my stick go? We're going to do some protection for you because sometimes people will try to manifest you in their life because they want you, but they're not best for you. Maybe you're best for them, but they're not best for you. So what we're going to do here is we don't want anybody to waste your time. There are some people who just naturally, it's actually pretty amazing, they're just naturally connected energetically, and they're able to pull, especially when someone's obsessed, they're able to pull and bring you into their life. But we want to protect you from being pulled into that, because energy and attraction and things like that, it doesn't have, it's not positive or negative, it's just a function, it just happens. So people who are not so great for you can try to pull you back into their lives, and people who are excellent for you that maybe aren't pulling so much, there might still be a distance. So what we want to do is just allow the universe to do its work. We don't got to go out of our way and start to manipulate things. Just let the universe do its work. And so let you be protected from anyone trying to be an energy vampire or trying to take up space and time in your life. Let that be disconnected. Let that be disconnected. Let that be disconnected, okay? Now inhale. Exhale. So I'm just going to work on past pain that has to do with love. Sending it somewhere else. Past experiences. Just sending it somewhere else. Past drama and trauma surrounding love. And I heard a really interesting quote. I mentioned it a couple months ago, where when you first meet somebody and you have that feeling of butterflies, oh, I know this person, is because you've already dealt with that before. Not like, are you, romantically attracted to that person, or you like the way that they, show up in your life, but because if they remind you of the feelings that you felt at the beginning of the relationships that did not work, the exact same feelings, it's typically going to go in a certain direction. Because when somebody is really there to stay, it'll be a new feeling, and the feeling won't be as high and low. The feeling will be pure and stable. No more of that. Because sometimes in relationships we get all this up here, and then we get all this down here, and then we get all this up here, and so we get addicted into that. Instead of questioning, is this the time to get all this, let's just fill ourselves out. Let's just have a good time. And also, if I'm getting this down here, is that what I deserve? No, y'all don't want to have those dynamics. The person will show up with a very pure and consistent energy for you. So bringing that into your life, 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 and just okay, good job. Okay, take a deep breath in. Exhale. Another deep breath in. Exhale. Final breath. Exhale. Let's just balance that. Let's just balance that. Let's just balance that. Balance it out. Balance it out, okay? And, okay, be at peace. So just working through all of that. Working through all of that. So, just letting go of any now. We're gonna start working with the mental and emotional stuff. Removing any mental or emotional blockages that make you feel like it's not gonna work. Let's just take that out, 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 take that out. Just remove it. Just remove it. Just remove it. Just remove it and take it out. Take that out. Take that out. Just send it somewhere else. Believe that you deserve to have peace in your romantic life. And just understand that if you are missing peace in your romantic life, it is typically because there's something that might be a little bit in the other interpersonal relationships that you have in your life. Family, friends, or even how you show up. Like, for example, the dynamics that you have in your family that maybe even extend over to your friendship circles may not work in relationships. Why? Because those dynamics you have within your family, that's y'all's unique dynamics. Don't assume that everybody is experiencing that. And those dynamics you have in your friendship circle is what you all consent to. Don't think that everybody else out here in the world is living like that too. So if you find somebody that you really feel like could hold value and you hold value in their life, but it's just different, don't see that as negative. See it as, now it's time for me to evolve and change. These other two things are going to change, friends and family, but I think it's for my best good. I want to evolve in the way that I approach things. So you will be able to find what is right for you. You will be able to find what is right for you and what you need. Just work through that. And I'm just taking anything need you to, if you get anything from what I'm saying today, get this. It starts with loving yourself. The biggest shortcut to getting someone to come into your life and to attract someone is to love yourself and to enjoy life. And because you love yourself and you love this life that you're living, you go out and you experience it with others, and that's how you meet people. If you want to meet them online, if you want to meet them in places that are going out or hobbies or whatever, among your friends, the key is you have to be happy, because people are attracted to happy people, not fake happy, because that's kind of annoying, where it's like, chill out, but genuinely just happy with your life. And the way that you demonstrate that looks different to everybody. Some people is, some people it's more reserved, but just genuinely being happy and peaceful, that's how you get the love that you want, because you're already giving it to yourself. So you can bring someone who comes in and you all can compliment each other. It's that simple. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed the session today, and I hope that it helped you in both attracting love, balancing love, developing your self-love, and protecting you against people who waste your time. So, don't forget that we have the giveaway going on in the Patreon community, and you're going to be answering the question, why are you ready to be a healer? And so the patrons can answer that question, and they win a spot in the 2023 Fall Reiki Master Teacher Apprenticeship Cohort. I'm so excited. And of course, the Patreon community is $3.33 a month, and we do a lot of fun things. Like now we're doing the Rebirth Healing Cleanse. I had herb pairings with that, and we've been meeting every weekend. Special session, it is all about letting go. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, or whenever you come to be in the space. I'm here, your mama for the night, day, or whatever. And so if you're new to the community, you are now one of my babies, chest like this. You can just put your hands together like this. You can put your hands in your lap down, hands in your lap up, whatever that is for you. And just breathe. Breathe in this moment. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And feel yourself being released. Feel all of that energy that keeps you in one place, keeps you in this one area. Just exhale and allow it to be released. Be open to new positions. Be open to new opportunity. Be open to new moves. Release, 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 release. And relax, 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 and let it go. Let it go. If you feel that you are harboring any unfulfilled expectations from this year or previously, let it go. Let it go. Leave it where it's at. Let it go. Leave it where it is at. It's at. Just let it go. I'm gonna make bracelets with that. It's like, what? But leave it where it's at. Okay. And just. Okay. And so, put your face upward and face the sun. And if it's nighttime, the sun is in your head, okay? And allow it to beam on you. Allow it to have this healing energy, a mixture of protection, a mixture of light, a mixture of warmth, a mixture of growth, of revitalizing and rejuvenating the energy that's flowing around you. And release, 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 and let go. So in these moments, I want you to ask yourself a question. What's hard to let go? Are there some people you don't want to let go let's open that up and rest. Are you ready? Are you ready for the next? Are you ready for what is coming up? Are you ready for who you are? Because you are so deserving, and you're allowed to have whatever this next thing is. So open yourself up. Be open to it. Don't confuse how things happened in the past with how what happened in the present and the future, and be curious. You know, it sounds real seductive, real romantic, real enticing to go through life and know everything and everything be perfect. But what is the point of that? If you are in a position where you already know everything before you go into it, you're already good at it, you're not living up to a greater expectation. You're staying small. You're forcing yourself to be small. Some stuff you're going to go into and you're already going to know how it works. Other stuff, not so much. But don't judge it. Don't judge it. If it's easier or difficult, just go forward. Invite the new path. Invite the new feeling. And let go. Let go of everything that makes you feel like it won't happen, because it will. All you gotta do is believe and put action. Literally, that's it. Just believe, put action. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Repeat, repeat, rinse, 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 repeat. And let go. Let go. Remove judgment. Remove unnecessary expectation. And open yourself up to some new grand solutions. Now, just when I say grand, I don't mean it has to be some extravagant thing. It's just some really great solutions that maybe you just never thought of. You didn't think it applied to you, or maybe you thought you weren't there yet, and look at you. You already there. Go you. Go you. Free yourself. Open yourself. Open your mind. Show up. Live in the moment. Live in your own peace. So I'm just going to massage your energy like this. And just with every exhale, release and let something go. Something that no longer serves you. That's taking up space. And balance yourself here. Send it somewhere else. Somewhere else that is not here. That does not require you to be responsible for that old stuff. And do not say yes to the things that no longer serve you. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go and release it. Balance this energy. Let it go and release it here. Let it go. Let it go and release it here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. 3 more. Exhale. 2 more on your own. Whenever you're ready to. And then final breath. Just release. see if I do it, okay? So to have your permission to say a prayer. Wonderful. May I touch you? May I hold your hand? Let's do some hand holding, okay? Cool. And also, while I'm saying the prayer, feel free to say whatever you need to say as well. I'm holding the space, but make it your own, okay? Okay, you ready? Inhale. Exhale. Dear universe and all for the highest vibration of good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out to us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay. So, I'm just going to work on your energy to just give you some encouragement of knowing you will not be left behind. And I want to shift any doubt mentality, any fear-based mentality, anything that makes you feel like you're kind of stuck where you're at, where it's not going to work. Maybe you tried it before and you're like, oh, if I try it again, it's not going to work. Da, 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 da. Or maybe you tried something else and you want to try something new. You're like, oh, last time I tried something new, that's horrible. Don't worry about it. You're not going to be left behind. And I think the important part to note here is when we're trying to reach our goals, when we're trying to accomplish our goals, we want big stuff fast, right? Here's the problem. Most of the things that we can realistically attain, they take time. And so people don't maybe feel as encouraged to work through the unknown parts of accomplishing smaller tasks, even if those smaller tasks may lead to bigger outcomes. So, if you knew that you would not be left behind, and if you knew that you would accomplish what you need to accomplish, I think you would have more patience. And I'm a critiquer of society because I often feel like the way that we see society may confuse us to think that that's how life is. But I feel like if you go to a different culture, it's a whole new view on society all at the same time, right? Okay, so that means as an individual, you also have the ability to choose how you experience this life. Let that sink in for a little bit. So if you decide to believe that you can accomplish anything, well, you start to think about ways and plans to make that happen. And sometimes when people have these big dreams of wanting to accomplish anything, sometimes their dreams are not even that big, but the way that society or the way that their mindset is makes them feel like that big dream is so big that they can't accomplish it, when it may not even be big at all, and you can accomplish it. So whatever is in your heart, also make a little bit room for growth, for your goals to change and shift. Because I remember I used to think that money was the answer, meaning like having a certain amount of money that should, solve a lot of things. And then I started to realize that I could find what I was looking for sooner with less money, because I thought the money was going to be used in order to give me X, Y, and Z. And what I realized is I don't even have to worry about the money part. I can just go find X, Y, and Z. So what is that? It means happiness. It means fulfillment. It means community. It means purpose. All of these things that we in a connections, and you want to make connections with your professors and access. And then your senior year, you could go to another place. You could go to a better institution, or the smart thing to do is stay at that institution, finish it out, and then for a graduate degree, go to a better institution. It literally is much cheaper to go that route than the other way. But it's like, I only know that because I worked there. Why am I giving you this example of college? The reason why I'm giving you this example of college is because a lot of the problems, or a lot of the things that you want in life, or the paths that you want to go to, are not as hard as you think they are. And wherever you're at in your life, it is accessible to you. Even if you feel like you are at the bare minimum of where you need to be, it is accessible to you. I mean, I'll give you another example. Building business. You want to build a business? Okay. Find something that you're good at and that you don't mind just doing over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, you figured that out. It doesn't even matter what it is. You figured that out. Okay. Now, one of two things. You got to figure out how to make that thing scalable. So it's not just your time for energy, like one-off things like per client, unless it's high ticket clients where I feel like I think it's better to reach more people. So figure out how to make that scalable. That's one way that you can approach that experience, or figure out how to teach, how to show other people how to do this thing, or a combination of both. So it does not matter, even if it is stamp collecting, there's a community for you, because there's also an exclusivity of knowledge. So maybe you don't have a big following, you don't have a big community or a big network, marketing network for your business, but perhaps the knowledge that you have is very, very exclusive. So think about certain things you would know, like we can look at within spirituality. If you come from a certain tradition that is that you don't see a lot of historical documentation, but maybe you have a family who has that documentation, you then have something that is very exclusive, very important. And as people reconnect with their indigenous heritage and indigenous connections, then you can go and create an environment in which people are getting this rich knowledge that they would not be able to have access to anywhere else. That's just a spiritual example. It can be the same for anything else, of how to navigate getting funding for businesses, how to use credit in order to build things, how to become a specialist in a field. Like, you look at something, I know this is becoming like this kind of other thing, but I want you to think about your 52-week goals. Like, for example, when someone thinks about real estate, it doesn't always have to be someone is the realtor, or somebody is flipping, or somebody is the renter. You can have a specialty within that field. There's so many things there. You can be someone who is a gatherer of information, somebody who analyzes this information, somebody who explains how to do things, even financial literacy and stuff like that. So I'm saying all this to say, I've given you random examples of the fact that whatever it is that you want to do, even creative endeavors, I'm not done. I thought I was done there, but I'm not done. Let's get into the creative endeavors. Creative endeavors like music, podcasting, information, expression, directing, building, creating, whatever that is. I feel like my stomach is rumbling. Expression, directing, building, creating, whatever that is, you have access. Why do you have access? It doesn't even matter if you're starting off with the bare minimum. The way that we look at social media and just finding a platform that is visible for you, you can literally document your journey along the way. It can look as rough and tumble in the beginning and start to look better. You don't have to, it doesn't have to look perfect from the beginning, but that one-on-one connection fears associated with that. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you come and you take care of yourself. And I am Jessica, also go by Jet, and you can hang out with me for a little while. So if you're new to the community, you are now one of my babies, so you get one kiss on the forehead, okay? And for all of my returning babies, multiple kisses. Mama loves you, so we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay, excellent. Let's begin. May I touch you? Okay, let's begin. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay, so let's just go here. Let's go here. And just begin to pull out and move and shift. So, sweetness, this is a time to work on that self-trust, to have big, bad, bold ideas, things that will move and impact or bring you balance and remind you of who you are, and being able to enjoy the moment of this life regardless of what it is. Let's work through it. Just breathe in and out here. Relax into this. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Release. So, trust in yourself. Trust that you will always have the answer you are looking for. That you'll always be able to see what needs to be seen. And renew your self-love, your self-trust, your self-forgiveness. Because sometimes when people aren't ones who really project outside of themselves, they may internalize things to the point where they want to be in control, can't control the outside. So they put unrealistic expectations on themselves on the inside. Hopefully that made sense. And I think that this time period is just a surrendering. These moments are a surrendering with a Mercury in retrograde and the Mars still in retrograde. It is just surrender. Surrender is the smarter. It's just the smarter way to go about this. And to do what you're supposed to do. Just do what your responsibilities are. Don't do too much. And that is that Mercury in Capricorn and retrograde. So let's just do that. But fear is funny. Fear teaches a lot of things. Sometimes, as I'm working on just making it easier for you to have less fear, or to be able to make decisions even when there is fear. at your own speed, your own pace, your own rhythm. There's no wrong or right answers. It's just however you want to go about doing this. And the more that you do that, the more that you start to realize that you have more power and more access to your own agency than you've ever known before. You're not expected to fit in anymore. Now it's, how do you create whatever it is important to you, whatever it is that gives you structure and stability. It's now up to you to create that. And that's a very fascinating place to be, inside of society, but also to be on the outskirts doing your own thing. I think it's all very interesting and very fitting of what's happening with the planets right now. So let's just go there. I want you to take 3 deep breaths, and as you're breathing in, fill up all the way from the base of the spine all the way to the tip of the head. Exhale, release. Send it on. 2 more, filling all the way up. Filling it from your toes all the way to your nose. Exhale, release, let it go. And finally, one more time, filling it up in your whole body. Levitate a little bit. And then exhale and release. Let that go. Let that go. Let that go. Let the fear go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go somewhere else to deal with somebody else. But, you know, I think more realistically, the fear will persist, but having the ability to be able to still think in a grounded way, regardless of if there's fear or not, I think that's the most important thing that we're working on here. Shifting your energy so that you desensitize the fear as opposed to amplify it or heighten it. So just working through that. just shift, shift, and shift. Working that through. So just allow yourself to be in the moment. Allow yourself to be open to whatever you need. Whatever brings a smile to your face. Whatever that is for you. Just keep going. 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 And don't give up on yourself. Don't become afraid. Don't lose hope. And all things that are magical and mystical in your individual life, you get to define what that is. Surrender to yourself and whatever you connect with. No wrong answers, just many ways of experiencing this life. And continue to breathe here. Just move that. How do you feel? Okay, just exhale any remaining fear, any remaining nervousness, anything that needs to be removed from you. Allow it to go. Allow it to go somewhere else, no longer with you, and release. Let's take one more breath together. Exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed our session today, and I hope this helped to soothe any fear that you may have, anything that is frustrating or irritating or whatever that is, just making you feel nice and calm during this time frame, this time period of the Mercury and Mars, retrograde stuff. Almost done. It's okay. We get to learn from it. All of these experiences, healing, is going to be shifting to your new life. So it's going to be more of a manifesting kind of energy today. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly or daily self-care routine, a place where you come to the space to relax, be yourself, and tap in to all of the greatness that is you. So if you're new to the community, you now get a kiss on the forehead because you're one of my babies, and my returning babies get multiple kisses. Mama loves you, and we start by saying a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay. Close your eyes. Let's do this. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibration of good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to breathe in. Exhale, let it go. And two more like this. And I know I have you all breathing often of like these deep breaths, but a lot of times we can take very shallow breaths and we're really not getting all the oxygen into our body the way that we could, the way that we're kind of optimized to do so. So daily reminder to just breathe. you want to approach life and just go after it. I think that's the simplest thing that any one of us can do. Just decide on how you want to live this life. And I think you cannot take everyone with you. That's kind of a hard lesson that I definitely had to learn and am learning. But you cannot take everyone with you, and also you can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. What is the saying? You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I love y'all so much because I be saying some of these sayings and I be forgetting them, and then I read the comments and it's just like that's really what the saying was. So I really appreciate that. But you know me, I'm always going for a metaphor in order to try to explain something like this. But anyway, shifting over into this experience of life is something that's amazing. Can you imagine having a life now that you get to decide what is important? Not how do you optimize your life for a structure that someone else has created, but you get to be the builder of that experience of life, rather than just a participant in someone else's grand plan. So look at yourself and think about, what is it that you want? Okay, so let's take 3 more breaths to anchor it in. What is it that you want? 2 more. What is it that you want? Final breath. What is it that you want? Release. Let that go. And move that through. Are you ready to give up who you used to be in order to take a chance, take a risk, to jump out there for someone you're going to be? You may not even know what that energy is yet, but would you be willing to risk it all for a version of you that you don't even know yet? That's a little scary, but the answer is yes. You know, it's not a trick question here. The answer is yes. That's what you must do. But that's so scary. We go through life building our roadmaps. I'm always using this roadmap analogy, but we go through life building our roadmaps to get to a point in life where we're like, wow, these maps suck. These maps suck. And to throw them out and to start all over, that is just such a big act of courage and openness and self-love and self-forgiveness. So I think that's cool. So shifting in, shifting in, shifting and shifting and shifting in, and seeing yourself for who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? When I'm in this space, also doesn't have to be a complicated thing. Whatever's in the way, look at it, examine it, and figure out a way to get to the other side. Are you gonna hop over it, dig under it, go around it, go in another direction, teleport, I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing? Connect in there, connect into that energy, and trust yourself. Trust what you're saying. I am this. Now, it's not even just I want to be this, but it's more of I am this. This is who I am. And I want to express that now. I want that energy to expand so wide that so many people can connect with who you are without you having to explain yourself, just honestly by your energy. You ever meet someone who just has strong energy, good or bad? You're like, whoa, that's some strong energy. You felt it. You felt it when you came in the room. A lot of people probably felt it. But to have that energy and also to be protected at the same time, stepping into this next chapter of your life and who you are, knowing that you will be and do your best here, that there is nothing to be afraid of, and that you will win whatever it is that you're seeking and searching for. You will find. And enjoying every moment of this experience is the most important part. So I'm just going to lightly tap the tops of your head. Okay. Just moving through that and relaxing through this and shifting the energy and bringing it together for yourself. Bringing it together for yourself. How many dreams do you have? Honestly, what are some things that you wanted or you wish you would have been or done? Now, let some of those things go. They are past their prime of taking up space in your energy. But those other things that you want to explore, that you still have a lot of time to figure out, bring them to the forefront and start to see your life shift with you being more involved in those things, until finally it becomes your everyday life to do these things. Notice how you approach life differently. Notice how your energy shifts, your confidence shifts, all those things. You can do this. You can do this. Be open, be ready, and be okay with this movement and this shift. Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed our session today. I hope you took the time out to think about who do you want to be, where do you want to go, what do you want to experience, and how can you plan forward instead of just being reactionary to someone else's version of your life. How do you want to plan your life? What is it that you want to see in your, very soon future, or your more distant future? Whatever that is, hold it close, respect it, love it, and give it so much energy. Who you're becoming matters, and we all are going to be able to see you. Pulling, plucking, and cutting. I got some scissors too. Cutting away that 2022 baggage. So let's keep it back there, and let's invite this 2023 into our life. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine. It is a place where you take care of yourself daily, nightly, whenever. That's your business, okay? And if you're new to the community, you are now one of my babies, so you get one kiss on the forenoggin. And if you're retarded, you get excited that you have taken this time to indulge in some self-care. So today we're just going to be starting with some removing of 2022 baggage. What I mean by that is anything that you need to leave in this year, leave it in the year so that you can invite newness and new energy into 2023. Okay. So just removing any fear of failure, any failing, any missteps, any quick judgments, any false starts. I think a false start is a good one. A false start is where you think everything seems like it's gonna work out and it just don't. So it's a false start. People, situations, and circumstances, baby. We've been talking about that since 2019. People, situations, and circumstances. I make it very clear to you all that it is important to hold yourself accountable for the life you have. You cannot help the things that happened to you as a child, and you also can't help, some things as an adult, but you do have more power. And with the many people that I meet and that I talk to, one commonality is this thought that as an adult, they have no power. Let me tell you, you do. And the moment that you realize that you have that power, you can create any kind of life you want. You can heal any scar, no matter how deep it is. Just know you have the power. And the power starts with believing in something new, something different. I am not that person. This is not how my story goes. I don't care if that's how it was before. This is how it's going to go. That's how you start to make those shifts. So just send off it to its next evolutionary path. Send it somewhere else. I'm going to start cutting too. So, with the cutting, we're just going to take baggage and send them off. And again, people, situations, and circumstances, we don't and we shouldn't look at other people in the perspective that we're the victim and they're the villain. And also, on the other hand, don't look at yourself as you're the villain, and you're the one that's always wrong. Look at everyone as equal going through this experience. Sometimes you show up and it is your best, sometimes not your best, because sometimes you give up on yourself, or other times you may not be the best person to be around. It is normal. What is a normal human experience or occurrence? And with that being said, just check in with yourself. Don't hold anything on to anyone else. Don't are brave enough to react in a new way, to trust yourself, you will have new results. So don't assume those new results will be worse than what you have experienced before. Most of the time, they're better. Because a lot of the ways that we convince ourselves to kind of dim our flame has a lot to do with the fact that we think that, if we try something different, everything's just gonna go wrong or something like that. And it's not that at all. Who doesn't want to be in control? Everybody wants to be in control. Sometimes you feel like, for example, people who like to gamble, what they might think is that they should wear their lucky socks on a Tuesday, or somebody who's a fan of different games and stuff like that, wear their lucky socks every Tuesday at this time, and somehow they can control the outcome of the circumstances. Even those who are esoteric and mystical, they feel like, well, if I do this certain routine, this certain prayer, this certain chant, this certain ritual, etc, period, ellipses, if I do this, then this will happen. Maybe, maybe not. The most important thing is when you are doing something that has to do with showing your respect or your reverence for energies out there, or the universe, or God, or whatever you want to call what is out here, you do that out of appreciation. You don't do it in order to get something, because you're going to be disappointed when you don't get what you want when you want it. But because you are grateful for how things have showed up in your life, and you are simply saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, you can then give without the expectation of receiving. And so a lot of people have a very warped understanding with the universe, and it really shows in how they handle their one-on-one relationships too. For example, they want to ask the universe only for things rather than just showing appreciation for what they have already received. And the same thing comes from, partnerships and the people in your life. You want that person to kind of show up in your life, and you want them to bring some resolution or something like that, instead of just accepting them for who they are and what they bring to the table. You would have a much fuller experience if you just accepted them and, only surrounded yourself by people who accepted you as well. So let's take any of that 2022 stuff. I hope I haven't been saying 2020. Ever since 2020, it's been a thing. So let's start to take this 2022 stuff and send it somewhere else, pulling away any unnecessary baggage, pulling away anything that just doesn't feel right, anything that is old stuff, old things that take up too much time. You ever have something that just is like, takes up a lot of space in your life, and you're like, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this shit, I'm ready to just, be done with it, and it keeps on showing up, and it keeps on showing up, and it keeps on showing up. Yes, now we're going to send that on somewhere else. And also know that sometimes you gotta say no tons of times in order to clear out all the stuff that has been coming into your life and that you have said yes to before. So it's okay. You start saying no, 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 no. Yo, hope it takes a couple days. And it might take a couple years to get all them no's out the way. But just keep going. Just keep going. So let's let go of people's situations, circumstances, and thought patterns that just need to stay in 2022. Also, let's let go of our old patterns, just our old ways of doing things. You know, what is it? What's the saying? What is it? Habits die hard. What is, somebody put it in the comment section so that I know what the saying is. Where you are, basically it's really hard to, teach a whole dog new tricks. In this moment, I'm thinking about the Bush quote where he's like, well, it's the shame on me. Well, basically you just can't get shamed again. You can't get shamed again. Sure, you can't get shamed again. So, simply saying all of that to say, let it go. Start fresh, start anew. It doesn't matter if you have an elaborate plan written out. It doesn't matter if you tried so many times and it hasn't worked out. And also, on a lighter note, maybe you have been making great progress and you're like, I'm nervous. What if, something stops working? What if it's not working out as well? Don't worry about any of those things. The only thing you need to worry about is sharing who you are with us. And that is what requires the hard work. By taking what is in here and materializing it in whatever way that you want to, through your art, through your profession, through your time, through your energy, whatever that is up to you. That is the hard work. And it doesn't stop. It goes on indefinitely until, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Understand the blessing in the lesson. Understand that what may feel like a burden can bring meaning into your life later on, once you realize how you stood up for yourself in those situations. People who haven't really had difficult lives, they end up having things like, like midlife crises and stuff like that. And on top of that, not know what's wrong. If you've had a difficult life, if you had traumas, you may also feel like, oh yeah, I'm having, early life, midlife crises, things like that. But you know what's wrong. You can pinpoint it. These people can't even pinpoint it, and that's what makes it tougher, because they're having this experience of the soul wanting to grow and evolve, and they can't even pinpoint it. Versus when you go through things, you know what the issues are, is this, and that. But the macro view of all of those things is your soul is evolving and it's trying to evolve away from that. So at least you know, because of this life, what it is. At least you have a roadmap and a blueprint. And also sometimes people who haven't really had anything happen to them, they don't know how to move past where they are. They just don't know. They don't have the drive to. And maybe that's not that important for them in this life, but there's a bigger story to tell when you have gone on the journey of things. It's a better story to tell. So if you feel like you're too old to be doing something, no matter how old you are, if you feel like you're too late to the party, if you feel like you will never be good enough, or if you feel like just it'll work out for anybody else but you, just know that is not true at all. What's true is when you're ready to get off that energetic flow you're on, of mindsets, of habits, of all of those things, you will be ready to receive whatever you want next. I'm actually going to shout out the podcast, Organize Your Purpose. I used to talk about it more, probably in like 2021. But I have a lot of episodes and I talk about organizing your purpose and balancing your life on multiple levels. So sometimes it's esoteric and sometimes it's just mindset training and it's business related things and it's just it's just really, really fascinating how that, shows up. But when they stumble upon the podcast and it's just me, regular talking, I always get people reach out to me, especially people who know me, like, oh, I love this, I love this, I love this, I love this. Because it's a lot of how do we get ourselves motivated to stay motivated? Or how do we understand that it's not about a hustle culture? It's about just showing up for yourself wherever you're at in that moment and just creating a plan from there. It's okay if you fall over a little bit. It's okay if sometimes things don't work out the way that you want them to work out. But the only thing that you're required to do is to love and have compassion for yourself. So babies, I hope you take that into your 2023. We have so much more to